Okay, if you're a Texas fan, the coveted 5 seed is ours. Man, we got the best of the best, I think. The ability to host a playoff game at home. Sucks losing the conference championship. It was a wonderful game to watch. I was there. I got to take my son. It was incredible. The atmosphere was awesome. But I think where we landed as a 5 seed, getting a couple weeks off to kind of get healthy, get Quinn's ankle a little bit healed up, we should be just fine. The opportunity to play Clemson at home, which is, I guess these two teams have never played each other before, is going to be awesome. And I bet the fans at DKR Memorial Stadium are going to be rocking and rolling at 3 o'clock on December 21st. I can't wait. I can't imagine how electric the stadium is going to be hosting the first ever college football playoff game at home at DKR. Memorial Stadium is going to be rocking. Clemson coming to town, 3 o'clock on December 21st. A couple weeks to heal up and rest up for Texas, for Quinn Ewers, for his ankle. It was a tough loss. It was a hard-fought battle there at the SEC championship game. Ball didn't go our way, too many penalties, red zone issues that just continued to be our Achilles heel. But at the end of the day, we have a chance to do something really special. We're in the tournament. We are the 5 seed. I think the 5 and 6 seed were the best draws if you weren't going to get the bye. And, I think we're in a perfect position to, again, host a home game and then play Arizona State. To me, those are two very winnable games. We are extremely talented, much more talented than those two squads, in my opinion. And I'm fired up. I struggle a little bit because the first half of the Texas-Georgia game, we exposed them. In between the 20s, we marched the ball up and down the field. Quinn was dialed, receivers were dialed, and as soon as we get into the red zone, we have drop balls, we have penalties, and we shoot ourselves in the foot every time. And settling for field goals in the first half is not going to cut it. Although if we hit a couple of them, we ultimately, I don't think, go to overtime. But those are the issues that got to get dialed in. I think for Quinn, it's just the field condenses, right? There's less space. Balls have to come out on time, in rhythm. You can't wait around. And he's not really going to be the guy that's just going to move and run and develop things and, suck defenders out of their coverage and then find easy touchdowns. That's harder to do, okay? And especially since he's been hobbled with his ankle. So there's some things I think from an offensive standpoint for Texas in the red zone, there's an opportunity to be a lot better there. Maybe some good on good over these next 2 weeks, ones versus ones, red zone work, like figuring out what we're good at, who our best targets are, where do I feel, what routes and progressions and plays do I feel comfortable with? That has got to improve. If we want to be where we want to be, we got to be better in the red zone. And we just can't continue to have penalties down there, settle for field goals, miss a field goal like that, especially playing against a good football team like Georgia. You could clearly tell Kirby Smart's game plan was stop the run. Like, I don't care if Quinn throws for 500 yards in between the 20s. We're going to play good red zone defense, and we're going to stop the run. And that plan worked, which was very different from the first time we played Georgia, where it was double A gap blitzes, pressure constantly on Quinn, like not letting the pass game get going. And I think that we learned a lot in that game. I think the players learned a bunch. I don't think they're lacking any confidence. I really don't. I think this is all just execution. They're going to go back and watch the tape and see all the things that was there, that we missed, that we didn't capitalize on. And at the end of the day, our defense is legit. Our defense played outstanding. I get that they brought in a backup quarterback and he kind of ran around and created some things in the second half that we weren't prepared for. But at the end of the day, you held Georgia to 19 points. Like, our offense is explosive enough to win the football game when you hold somebody to 19 points. And you're going to face potentially a team like Oregon down the line. Arizona State can score a lot of points. They got a running back that's really good. But let's not move. Let's think about this game at Clemson. What are the things that we need to do? It's not about Clemson. It's about fixing some of the struggles that we've had and just going out there and playing football. Lean on our defense and figure out ways to, when we get down there, you find a way to get in the end zone. Is that bringing in Arch a little bit for some quarterback design things? Maybe. I don't know. I thought Quinn played really good in the Georgia game. I really did. I felt like when we got down tight, it was, we had some issues there, but, Quinn is going to be 2 weeks healthier coming off his ankle, and we're going to need him to go out there and dice him up, which I believe he can. You look at the overall playoff picture, I think Texas and Penn State actually got the best draw. Hosting home playoff games. Texas got to play Clemson, which has certainly had their struggles throughout the year. They played pretty good against SMU, but I don't know if their defense can stop us. And I certainly know our defense can stop them. And so I like this matchup on paper. Then you draw Arizona State. And Arizona State is a team that kind of came out of nowhere. They're very efficient. They're a good football team. They fly around. They got a running back who's really fun to watch. Scattaboo, I think is his name. And their quarterback is a young kid who's playing very good football. So that'll be a fun matchup. But for the 5 seed to play Clemson and Arizona State to get to the semifinal game, I mean, I think our path is awesome. I feel very confident in that. And I think for Texas and for Sark and for our team in general, I think there is a lot of confidence there. Look, we lost to Georgia twice. Georgia's a good football team. We might see them again down the line. Who knows? But for us to get where we want to go, I think from being the 5 seed and for our matchups, I'm confident that we can play good football, good sound football, and go out there and win these 2 games, especially playing at home. I mean, what a gift to us as fans and alumni to have another home game, a playoff game, first time ever. The loss stings, for sure it stings. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm fired up. Looking ahead to the Clemson-Texas game, I think it's a great matchup for Texas. Look, I don't think Clemson is the team that they were 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. They won a national championship with Trevor Lawrence and those guys. I think they're still extremely well coached. I mean, I've never met Dabo Swinney, but from afar, I love how he leads that program. I love his energy, his enthusiasm, and he's built a good football team. I mean, I don't know that really anybody after their big loss week 1 to Georgia felt like they were going to be where they are now. And obviously that's a tribute to that coaching staff and those guys. There's some players over there I like. Cade Klubnik, local Austin Westlake kid, great kid, great family. Such a great competitor. He competes. He runs the football. He throws the ball. He figures out ways to win. And so he'll be tough to stop. But I think our defense will be dialed in on just not letting him get going. And then Taft for Texas played at Westlake with Cade. That's going to be a fun matchup. And then Andrew Makuba, who played at Clemson, now he's at Texas, having a phenomenal year. I mean, I was at the game. The hit he put on the Georgia quarterback. I mean, the band was playing in the end zone. Everybody was on their feet, and you heard the hit amidst all that noise. That was unbelievable. Man, he will strike you. He's having a fantastic year. Obviously this game is going to mean a lot to him. So there's 3 or 4 players in this game that this one's going to matter a little bit more to. Cade Klubnik coming back to Austin, getting to play in DKR. He's going to love that. So I'm excited about those matchups, but more than that, I think that our defense is going to set the tone, and I think our offense will have a day. I think that they're going to be a lot for the Clemson defense to handle, and we just got to go out there and execute up front. Offensive line's got to play a little bit better. We got to clean up the penalties. When we get to the red zone, we got to figure out ways to score touchdowns. Maybe it's going deep from the 50, avoiding some of those things every now and then when you can. We're one big play away from scoring at any point. Our receivers are nice. I love our receivers. Golden, DeAndre Moore, Ryan Wingo, Gunnar Helm, like these guys. I mean, this is what you play for. You play for the opportunity to be in the 12-team playoff. That may the best team win. And I think when I look at our roster, I look at our matchups. There's nobody in the country more talented than us. Can we dial it in to play good, efficient, sound, complementary football? And if we do, I love our seeding, and I love our matchups to get where we want to go.